Coming up in this episode of the KickCast, a new way to hold an umbrella. No hands, Mom. The controversial TV show that was deemed too educational. And bacon. Need I say more? So sit back and relax. It's time for the KickCast. Hey everybody, it is time for another episode of the KickCast, the podcast for crowdfunding projects. I hope you guys enjoy. This is the third straight week you're seeing an episode of the KickCast, and of course, it's not going to be a KickCast without Drew. So everybody, welcome Drew, instructor at large and Mr. Awesome when it comes to everything video.
I like instructor at large. That feels good. How's everybody doing? I'm ready to go for another night. Got some cool projects tonight, and I brought my little good luck puppy here.
Oh, that's so going to be our episode screenshot right there.
That's right.
So if you guys have never seen the KickCast before, it is the podcast for crowdfunding projects. What Drew and I do is we search high and low for the most unique, the coolest, or just straight out bizarre projects on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, any crowdfunding projects right there. And before we actually jump into that, it's been kind of a slow 2 weeks for crowdfunding news, Drew.
Not much going on.
Yeah, but we managed to find this. It is the Ouya Free the Games Fund right here. So what Ouya is actually doing right now is they are giving away $1 million to developers on Kickstarter of all places right there. So ideally, what you got to do you got to have a Kickstarter project for a game that will be featured on Ouya. And you have to at least raise $50,000. So it's not just for anybody to get free money. They want this money to be used for actual games that will show up on the Ouya. After you do that and you raise your $50,000, they're given up to $250,000. So one project can raise $250,000, $250,000. So at least 4 projects are going to get some money for this. But the catch-22 on this is, for them giving you the money, your game's going to be exclusive to the Ouya platform for the first 6 months after it's been released.
Which is a small price to pay, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's a small price to pay. And I think it's a great idea for Ouya to kind of give back to the community because they were pretty successful. And I remember when we were first starting the KickCast, I saw this Ouya thing on there, and I actually passed on it to feature in an episode because I'm like, oh, it's just another Android console. Little did I know it became one of the most popular ones out there. That's kind of crazy. And so I think this is kind of catch-22 right here. People kind of use this story to say, oh, Ouya doesn't have really good games. But the way I view it is like, oh, Ouya's trying to, pay it forward to other people and their success. So I don't know. What do you feel about this, Drew? Is it just them trying to get good games, or are they genuinely wanting to help this platform that's helped them so much?
I think it's definitely a win-win on both of those fronts. I think that they are trying to get some good games by enticing people, and that's what you've got to have. If you have a platform, you want people to join it, you've got to give them some reason to come forward and be a part of it. And so I think that's part of it. But to be able to give back to the Kickstarting community and other Kickstarter projects, and all they're asking is for like a small window of exclusivity. That's actually a pretty good deal. So I think it's genuine. I think it's from the Ouya heart. It's a great idea. I almost wish I knew what I was doing if I ever developed games.
Maybe that's what we should do. Just screw this podcasting thing, and we'll go.
Just make video games.
Let's make Android games.
Speaking of, I picked up a little. What was it? Candy Crush. That's not an Android, is it? I know it's iOS for sure, but
I don't know. It's probably somewhere.
I got addicted, and it's the exact same game that I've been playing for like 20 years, where you just slide things over and they match and disappear. But yet, 3 days straight, keep playing.
That's why I'm staying away from Candy Crush.
Yeah, I'm ashamed.
Yeah, but oddly enough, that's all we actually have this week for news. So if you guys have good sources for crowdfunding news, because every time I search, there's not much. Let us know at kickcast@ktdata.net on there. So let's just jump into our first project right there. All right, Drew. We live in Utah. Winters get cold, and one of one of the least favorite things I like to do during the winter is to go outside and get and shovel snow.
Yo,
And the
shows
pro
though. I was like,
yeah,
go outside
and then
and
the biggest problem on that is that I'm wearing a beanie and a winter coat and everything, but I feel like all trapped and it's still freezing cold because the wind's still blowing right on your face and everything. Um, but hopefully I can say this right. The Nubrella is trying to
that's
see if they
right.
can solve this problem right there. And so what the Nubrella is essentially a hands-free umbrella on there. Yeah, you heard me right. It's hands-free.
Hands-free umbrella.
And then you wear it like a backpack. And in fact, there's actually a version that actually has a backpack on it. And supposedly this dome site has been tested up to 50 miles per hour in winds resistance. So it
I
should be able to hold up.
I was gonna say I was looking at that and I really wondered, but if they've tested it that high, you'd
Yeah.
be okay in just about any normal storm. You'd be fine.
Yeah, and then what's interesting is though, if you actually see on screen right now, this Nubrella right here is the this is their first mark. So this is actually a second iteration of the Nubrella. This is the first version they actually came out with here, and you can see it's kind of domey. So when you wear it, looks like you're an alien from outer space, but it does its job on there. And now they have a newer version that's actually a little slimmed down, and it's more a visor-like system where you can wear it as a visor on there, so you don't have this plastic sheet covering your face. And the problem people were having was like, how do you talk to someone in a dome, really?
Right,
And
right,
this actually allows you to have clear line of sight, and it's probably helpful for camera guys like you, Drew, where you don't want to you need to be able to see through
right,
it without having some plastic thing right there.
right. I've done many a shoot with my head in the same like waterproof case as the camera, and I just try and like cover up as much as I can because you have to have both hands. You've got to be running everything. So this would be ideal for games, for shooting games, shooting like outside sports games.
Yeah. So and then what's even more crazy about this is that there's actually a couple of different models. So there's the new Brella Storm, which is that first model that we saw that was kind of dome like, and then they have the new Brella Pack, which is the one with the backpack on it.
I like that. Yeah,
They have
yeah,
the sports model, which is I read it. It's less wide on there, so you can go sit in like a football stadium or soccer stadium and wear that and not like knock the people around you
right, right. That's
around. And then there's a kids version, and there's a sun version where there's reflective material on there that helps block UV rays for those people who don't get the fortunate chance to have snow
right.
in your state right there. So actually, I really love this idea right there because when I first saw it, I'm like, that kind of looks sort of dorky, but it's something that I want. This blocks the wind and it's not all tied up. I could see myself wearing that when I'm shoveling snow outside. And what's even crazy is that these guys, they're almost ready to just hit go on a production line once they find it and everything. If you look at the goal on their page, they're
Yeah.
only asking for $10,000. And that's to finish up the engineering stage and get everything through that, and ready to go and find a factory and stuff. So I don't think they're asking for a lot. And would you wear a dome type
I
system
I
around?
would. I would, honestly, and it's not like it's strange that it's out there, but it's so functional. If you could protect yourself from the elements, at least your face and whatnot, I'd wear that thing and walk between classes and not worry about, I don't know, I love my hands. I'd be texting and tweeting or shooting or whatever I'm doing out. I this is a good idea.
Yeah, and I'm like,
And
I'm
it's a step beyond what they used to do with the beanie hat, where you'd have the little beanie hat that had the mini umbrella that came up. Have you seen those where you just like
yeah.
sits on your head? This I think would feel a lot more
Yeah,
secure.
it's a lot more balanced, and they put a lot of thought into making sure it's ergonomic and it feels comfortable to you. And if it like, and you okay, aside from having just the dome on there, which you can fold back if once you walk inside and stuff, I don't think people would really notice that you're wearing a dome type thing when you're indoors. They just think, oh, he's just wearing a backpack, and well, it's normal to be wearing a backpack around
Yep.
everywhere. So I think it's a great idea. So Drew, in our awesome rating system, would you back, track, or sack this?
I would probably be a back on this one. It's worth it to track it, but I think supporting the idea and the fact that they're taking something that's so common that everyone has and uses and can use, and they're reimagining it. I mean, that for me is worth backing right there. That they're kind of thinking out of the box and saying, "What if it goes this way?" I'm
Yeah,
for it.
yeah, I'm a total back for that, and they're asking for a modest amount, and I think this is really one of the key points to having a successful Kickstarter project is not shooting for the moon. They're just really shooting for the bare minimum so they can take it to the next stage and get it going, and they have a plan. It's kind of solid right there, and I think that's a really good chance, and they're about halfway there already to the goals.
Hmm.
So that's a definite back from me. All right, so Drew, I know you're a huge TV kind of guy. You've worked in TV, and then you also have kids, so you know the importance of finding educational programming and not letting
Yes,
your kids watch some
I'm
mindless
like
blunder.
exactly. I'm like the TV Nazi between my wife and I. It's like, what do you think you're watching? What is this? No, we keep them pretty tied down. And so one of the projects that I ran across on Twitter in the last week was from one of my favorite kids shows that my kids absolutely love called. The host of Signing Time has another project that she's put on Kickstarter. Signing Time is kind of like it was a full series of shows that were on the I'm trying to like a PBS kind of station, and we have a whole bunch on CD, DVD, but it's all about baby sign. How to you teach your children sign language at such young ages for not only for communicating with the hearing impaired, but for just for communicating. All three of my little girls knew nothing grand and nothing like crazy protege kids that could speak two languages, but they were all able to communicate early on by using simple signs. Like they could tell us if they wanted water, or if they wanted to go to sleep, or there were some simple things. They knew what signs were for bug and for inside and outside. Uh, those cool things really made it easier to be a parent at a young age. So when I saw that Rachel had another show that she was starting on Kickstarter, I started kind of researching, looking at what she was doing, and she's calling this one Rachel and the Tree Schoolers. This is basically, and this is interesting because you and I talk a lot about the pre-selling. This isn't what Kickstarter is for. It's not for pre-selling stuff. It's not, you shouldn't get on there with this idea that we'll just get a bunch of pre-sales and then we'll manufacture what we're already going to be doing. But the difference I think with this is that they've taken this through the normal channels. They've taken this to the stations. They've taken it in and pitched it around in that kind of standard normal way that you usually do TV shows, and they got told it was too educational.
What?
Which exactly, it's like, are you serious? How could it be too educational? But the way she puts it in this video was really good because she kind of says, I'm trying to remember what the metaphor is, but she basically says the TV stations want to give you like 10%, of nutrition, and the rest of it's kind of fluff and sugar. And so she kind of likens it to being like the stuff on TV now is like fruit snacks, when what they're trying to create here is an actual apple, organic fruit. So good metaphor, but really, it's if you think about it, and she puts this right at the top of the page, so I'll just pull it off from her page. Right at the top, she says, "Children's TV. It's light on education, heavy on advertising, and typically, if you think about it, she says selling trumps teaching." And it does. And I think that's a lot of the problem with what mass communication is kind of happening to TV and mass comm in general, is that what sells is what gets promoted and pushed, and that goes for pop music. Sadly, it goes for what's on TV across the board, radio. There's just a lot of it's sad, honestly. So long way to say, I'm really all for this method of circumventing that kind of, I would say antiquated system, but the corrupt system that kind of blocks this type of stuff from showing up. So their production value is pretty great. It's enough that your kids are going to be wowed. The thing that they're really going for with the Tree Schoolers is just kind of constant learning. They're doing things. They're learning signs along with the science of things. They're a lot of singing. She does a lot of great singing, and it's catchy and it's fun. I still sing all sorts of signing time songs from back in the day, but it's fun. I think it's really well done. So watch the video, get on board, especially if you have kids and you're looking for something else to kind of feed them. If you're tired of them watching pound puppies, or even, I hate to say it, but what's the My Little, is it My Little
My
Ponies?
Little Pony?
my girls watch way too much of that. And if I could say, you know what, girls, let's try and learn something, because they ask. Here's the thing: is they ask these questions. If you look at this, the first disc there, I guess the first episode that they've completed is already all about weather, and the next one's
Mm-hmm.
going to be about plants and insects. These are questions that they're already asking me. They ask, why is the sky blue? What is it happening when it snows? And I love that they're asking those questions, and how neat that they could learn all of those things in this really engaged way. I mean, I teach them, I tell them, but this would be a great way to add to their learning. So I'm definitely backing this one. I'm a fan. So this one's more than just, wow, that's unique and neat and cool. This one is like, we need this. We need something more to get quality entertainment, broadcast entertainment, to, I can't say the masses, but to the people that want it. And this is a great way to go about it. So
Yeah, no, I loved it. I'm like watching it. I'm like, whoa! Like I'd probably watch this show just seeing all the different production values and stuff. And
it's pretty good production value.
yeah, it looks great. They even have a blue screen on there to kind of do some of the scenes. And I'm like, whoa! I really like this. And kind of I remember back and I think about a lot of the childhood shows that I remember, and a good chunk of them are educational. I mean, thinking back, we had, I grew up in the age of Barney. I grew the
Mm-hmm.
age of Mr. Rogers.
Mr.
Like
Rogers.
Mr. Rogers still holds such a great spot in my heart on there. Even as growing up, I mean, who here hasn't heard of Arthur?
Right? Arthur
it,
had some
it,
great ones. Yeah.
Arthur was a great one, and like it's all these shows that are educational. Zaboomafoo, when it was all about animals and everything, and I just think, and I love this idea because, and it's kind of crazy that a lot of people don't push this anymore. They, everything follows the grand formula of let's put X in and we'll
Yep.
get X amount of dollars out,
Yep.
and let's just do that.
Stations can't take a risk. I mean, honestly, if you talk about broadcast or cable stations, they can't afford to take
Yeah.
risks. And so when something comes, they have to. In fact, very rarely do they fund anything anymore. They say, you make it, and we'll give you the airtime. But this is fantastic. This is a good way to get it out there. And I think she's got the social capital. She's already got the kind of the traction with her other projects. People know her. They know the quality. That this is certainly one of those ones that says, I'm supporting the idea. I'm supporting this method of getting this video production. And
I love this idea that she's tried the traditional way, it's not working, and she's bringing it this way because, and to me, I think this is actually the future, anyways,
Yeah.
of television, is disseminating it off to, these smaller markets, but these markets that are
Yeah,
more
yeah.
engaged. I
Yep.
mean, because I could never see me going to a TV station. Hey, I want to do this show about crowdfunding projects where we talk about them and stuff. I'd probably get laughed and
Right, exactly. They would go,
and just like,
how many viewers are you gonna pull in for us? Mm-hmm.
and it's like they'd probably laugh in my face and then throw me out onto the curve on there. So the more people that start doing this, the more merrier. And to me, that's definitely back because it's educational, and I am a firm believer. I don't even have kids, and I'm like, education is key,
Yeah.
key for all
There's so
our
much
kids.
so much sugar on the TV diet right now. So this is ideal. So yeah, this is definitely a back for me. I just got to decide how high up the back scale I want to go. She has on here, she'll sing your kid a custom lullaby. She'll Skype in for like a birthday show. I mean, because she is kind of a celebrity herself.
Mm-hmm.
She's got one-on-one, like, sit down and have coffee in several different cities. I mean, great rewards that are just way up there. So.
And so, like, yeah, I'm definitely back on that. It's going through this new model that television's kind of struggling through. So I'm all for that. I'm all for change, and I'm all for educating our kids in new ways. So definitely back for me. All right. So our final project of the day, Drew, is
Yummy.
bacon. Who doesn't love? Who seriously does not love bacon?
Even my dog loves bacon.
And the funny thing is, this is pretty straightforward of a project. There's not much to explain. It's bacon playing cards.
Easy.
Simple as that. Here's some of the technical details for those people who are card connoisseurs. You'd be surprised. There are sites upon sites that are dedicated to like how cards are printed and whatnot, because I didn't know what some of these things are. So these cards are going to be, the first run's going to be limited to 2,500. They're going to be printed by the United States Playing Card Company, which is the main company that prints most of the professional cards, like your bicycle cards and your B cards. I think
Wow.
are printed by this company right here. So they're going to be on the bicycle card stock, which I think it is, one of the highest quality card stocks you can get, and then something called Magic Finish on there. I think that's what makes the cards
Special.
shiny or
Really
something.
shiny.
I can't say I'm an expert in that, but it has that. And then in addition to that, because normally I wouldn't cover just card projects because there's a lot of them on there. They're actually including a second deck that's for a game that you use also with the card deck. So you probably could use other cards too with it. And it's called the Bacon with Bacon. So baking with bacon. And so you use both cards. And so the game deck has cards that are called recipe cards, action cards, and I forgot what the last one was.
Everything great to do with bacon. I got plenty of recipes for bacon.
So what the whole idea is that each recipe card has 4 different ingredients on there, and it's represented by, say, you need a 5 of clubs or something like that. You got to collect all 4 cards on there. And then your goal is each player gets three of these recipe cards, and whoever is the first one to make or get all the cards they need for the recipe on there, they're the winner right there. And then they also have these action cards, which are modifier cards. So you can pull that out, and it's like draw 2 extra cards off the deck, or there's a nasty one. Yeah, there's a nasty one where you can have another player discard their entire hand and draw 7 new cards on there. So
it's like Uno mixed with Phase 10 and playing cards.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. Plus bacon.
Bacon.
Like really, I heard the words bacon, and this is why I checked out the Kickstarter project anyways, because if you guys don't know, I'm like a huge bacon fan. Like I have bacon soda right here and bacon lovers kit over there, which has like bacon salt and bacon mayo and bacon gumballs and bacon lip balm. I even have a stuffed bacon, which I forgot to bring up.
Yes, you should have shared that with us.
It's like a giant bacon, and when you squeeze it, it says "I'm bacon." So
there you are. If you want your project backed by KT, all you got to do is put bacon in the title.
Pretty much. And what's really cool is that the guy who came up with this idea, he runs a shop called the Baconry, and he sells bacon related items. You you name it, there's bacon on it. Like I saw bacon cookies, bacon cupcakes. I'm
just getting hungry thinking about it.
Like chocolate covered sticks that have bacon pocky essentially, which are like and then he was smart, and he actually found somebody who's had multiple success in printing cards, like playing cards, on Kickstarter.
So how do you find somebody like that? But I guess on Kickstarter you could find that.
Yeah, so because he noticed, he kept on backing these card projects, and it was drawing back to this. I think it's called Vanda playing cards, and this guy's literally had 4 different sets of playing cards already gone through Kickstarter, funded, and distributed it out, and they're selling them now. So, and they're really cool designs and everything. So let's see if I can pull this up on there. So you can see right here on screen, if you guys are watching, it's kind of this really, I don't even know how to describe the art style of it. It looks like it should be a playing card, but it has a pig on it, and the pig has there's a skillet. They even made poker chips, which is kind of cool on there. The back, of course, is just bacon designs because bacon. And it's really well designed, and I could see playing even poker or blackjack or any normal game with these. And on screen right now, you can actually see the different types of cards. Oh, there's star cards, which are almost wild cards that are in the game deck, and you throw that into the main playing card deck on there. So the game looks fun, and the cards look really nice, and it looks like they're going to print them make sure the cards are printed really nice, and they're already selling out fairly quickly. Plus bacon. Do I really need to say much more than bacon? Because bacon is one of those things that you can add to anything, and it makes it better.
They've already got 437 backers at this moment.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a testimony to bacon right there, and card playing.
And I just realized that I haven't backed it yet, so that's the first thing I'm going to do after we finish recording the show is back the project on there.
Idea.
So Drew, you can already tell this one's a back for me. How do you feel about?
I'll back it. I'll back it. I love cards. I don't play that many card games, but I love art, and that's like a tangible way to hold on to art. And it's kind of these have this great style to them, so I'd back this one.
Yeah, and you could probably play this with your kids because the game's not that hard. You just gotta make sure you collect them, and I guess it's a good life lesson to teach your kids what a club is and a heart is and a spade.
Yeah, at some point, I think they'll be a little older. I don't think I was probably like, gosh, probably it's 15, 16 before I was allowed to touch playing cards.
Or just introduce them to the amazingness of bacon.
There you go. That would be the key. That would trump everything anyway.
Like I'm thinking of just bacon right now and more bacon. But
so after you cook some bacon, then you'll back it.
Or bacon pancakes. Bacon pancakes. Okay. You guys can tell I really, really like bacon. So that's before I start going off on a huge tangent on the awesomeness of bacon and how you can judge a person by how they like their bacon. That's actually all the projects we have on there. Drew, seriously, where does the time go? Like,
I know
it just goes by so quickly. I'm like, oh crap, we're already done.
I was gonna say today, I think half the time went to your black magic card, but I'm glad we got that fixed.
Yeah, let's just. We'll forget about the horror about that on there. So
great times.
Yeah, if you guys disagree or agree or just want to talk about bacon, you can shoot us an email at kickcast@ktdata.net or leave us a message on facebook.com/kickcast or on Twitter @kickcast or on Google plus.kickcast.net.
We are everywhere.
Anywhere and everywhere we'll be there. And, you notice that we were talking with the chat room, Laser Norm's in there, just we're reminiscing about old educational TV shows we all watched on there. You can watch us every 2 weeks, which is going to be August 6th is the next time we actually record live and hopefully with less technical difficulties. And that will be at live.kickcast.net. And just come in and chat. It's always a good time there. And bacon. On there. So, Drew, you got anything you want to pimp right now before we kind of?
I'll throw out one other project that's really short and small. There's one out there. You should go out and just Google it. It's called Skate Knob, and I used to skate back in the day, way back in the day when I had like style. Anyway, they're taking skate wheels and they're putting the custom knob so you can replace your gear shifter in your car. So it's kind of a car customization. Really simple local project, and it could be kind of a neat way to customize your rides. So go check that one out. Nice and easy. That's the last one I'll pimp.
It's all for pimping right there. So
yep. Shameless.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see you guys in 2 weeks, and until then, bye.
Bye.